In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I am the host or the gatekeeper of this particular program, known here on the internet as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your brother, and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. I would first like to give a moment of silence in the memory of our fallen brother and soldier, the brother we know of as Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Thank you so much. We should never, ever forget the memory, the person of any of our people, both famous and those who are not famous. We should never forget anybody who has made any attempt to do anything in order to change the condition of a people who were made deaf, dumb, and blind, lost to the knowledge of themselves, terrorized in a strange land among strange people for over 400 years. And the terrorism continues. And those who have been anointed, and if you say that you are of black conscience, if you are what we call black spirited, then you and I, we are anointed because the rest of our people are still in pure slavery. We have yet to come up out of slavery because although you might be black conscious, you might be of a black spirit, and you want or you entertain Afrocentric thoughts and African type thoughts or whatever, we still carry the nigger inside of us. Not the nigger that y'all speak about because you have become enlightened, but the nigger that was forced upon us or we were made into by the racist pink people of this nation. And within our lifetimes, we'll never be able to get rid of that nigger inside of us. It is something that we must attempt to keep in check. But as our generations go on, we can help eliminate the nigger that's inside of us, much like the character called the Incredible Hulk. We are Bruce Banner. But soon as you make a black man angry, soon as you make a black woman angry, the incredible nigger, we start turning green with envy, green with jealousy, green with hatred towards another black man and a woman. If we use the same energy, the same hatred that we have for other black people, and we worked and targeted that anger against those who are our real enemies, we wouldn't be in the condition that we're in. But we still have a slave-like mentality. Black power, I'm still a slave. Assalamu alaikum, I'm still a slave. Shalom, I'm still a slave. You can call yourself any title, but it doesn't take much for the nigger, the incredible Negro, to come out of you. And so this is the situation that we find Brother Louis Farrakhan and Dr. Khalid Muhammad. We find them in a situation, and we put them, or we paint them as though they have went beyond the nigger. None of us have gone beyond the nigger. This we must understand. This is something that we must accept. You can call yourself divine. You can call yourself a god. You can call yourself king and queen. You can put and label yourself any kind of way that you want. When it's all said and done, the incredible nigger, he or she is ready to come out at any time. You don't want to see me get angry. And when we get angry, here it comes. We've been under the gamma rays of a strange people in a strange land. And they have made us monsters. And unlike the Incredible Hulk, monsters in a bad way. Because the Incredible Hulk is seen as a superhero, while the Incredible Nigger is a villain that needs to be destroyed. An executioner, not of the enemies of black people, but an executioner of him or herself. So we want to talk within the next few minutes about the incredible Negro inside of us. We want to talk about the incredible nigger inside of Farrakhan and Khalid Muhammad. Y'all got to get real. This is the Reality's Temple. If you don't want to get real, shut the video off and go about and continue to live in your delusions, your fantasy. I'm not about fantasy. I'm not about delusions. I'm not about fiction. Accepting our reality. Because fictional solutions, fantasy solutions bring fantasy and fictional answers, and you wonder why we're in the condition that we are in today. We don't even say let's get real in the black community no more. I remember when I was growing up, that was a common saying. Oh man, let's get real. Get real, get real. Now it's full-fledged. I believe in this. I believe in that. The divineness and the God that. Spiritual this, spiritual that. Get real. Those things take us out of our reality. And so since y'all focus on those things, they give you a false, a weak solution that might work for a few minutes, but it cannot give a permanent solution to a real problem. And that Negro that you deny that's inside of you, that Negro continues to grow. It continues to manifest. We need to find a real cure. We want to talk about Farrakhan and we want to talk about Khalid Muhammad in a real manner. So maybe perhaps after we talk, we can find some kind of way to hinder, to keep in check the monster that is inside all of us. What brings me to this particular topic is that I haven't watched the whole video, but there is a video on YouTube, and this video is almost 4 hours long, dedicated to bashing and talking about Louis Farrakhan. 4 hours of making mockery, critiquing, however you want to say it. Now, out of all that 4 hours, I'm still waiting for myself to pop up. But see, what I say, I feel in my heart, it is constructive criticism. I'm not trying to expose Louis Farrakhan. I'm not trying to belittle or make mockery. I'm trying to offer a man. Now, you might see him as divine. I just see him as a brother. And the brother might be a little lost. The brother might be a little misdirected somewhere. And whether he accepts that critique or not, but it's constructive criticism. I'm not trying to talk about your mama. I'm not talking about the clothes you wear. I'm trying to, you say that you are trying to help black people. Then from a little brother to a big brother, this is how I feel about the situation. Constructive criticism. But I guess chances are, out of all this 4 hours, you'll never see me, because many of these other individuals, they put them together because they sound like they are filled with hatred towards Louis Farrakhan. I dislike him. How dare you disrespect Elijah Muhammad? How dare you associate the Nation of Islam with the Scientologists? Oh man, they are just so up in arms. So maybe I won't see myself on this video. So for all of you Farrakhan haters, just do a little search engine. Just go through the Google search engine and you'll probably run into this video that's about 4 hours long, 3.5 hours, something like that. That's sad. Somebody will sit around and edit all this stuff together against this one person. Where is the information? Where is the 4-hour-long videos against our real enemies that y'all say gave him the power to do what he's doing? The Jews and other racist pinks. You focusing on the little drug dealer on the corner, but not the cartel that's bringing the drugs into the nation. You say that Louis Farrakhan has been given power by Jews and racist pinks. So if you destroy, if you check the racist pinks and the Jews, then that takes away Louis' power. You can't do nothing, you know. What do you expect to do with Louis? And if you knock out the big boy, you easily knock out Louis, since that's where he's getting his power from, right? Oh, but it's easy. See, that's that nigga, that's that self-hatred. Any reason to attack a black man. That's all it is. It's the incredible Negro that's in us. See, because you think dealing with Farrakhan is easier. Because you know you ain't got a chance against Jews or racist pinks. So let us jump on Farrakhan. He's much easier. Let me expose Farrakhan. Let me talk about this. Y'all hold on. We're gonna talk through this. Be a little patient. Let's talk about it. You don't like Louis Farrakhan. I am not a defense attorney for Louis Farrakhan. I am keeping it real. Let's begin like this. Elijah Muhammad told Malcolm X and all his ministers, do not speak of the president's assassination. The president at that time was John F. Kennedy. Because John F. Kennedy, the president, was loved by not only racist pink people, but many of our people, the descendants of slaves born in America, they love the president too. If you talk about the president, you will bring unnecessary problems to this organization. Of course, as you know, Malcolm had to say something. So here we are. Do you know that people love Louis Farrakhan? Do you know that? Do you know that even back in the 1980s, when Louis Farrakhan began to rebuild the Nation of Islam, that thousands of people, when they learned that Louis Farrakhan was attempting to bring back the Nation of Islam, when people began to hear that news, Louis Farrakhan attracted and still attracts thousands of people to come hear him. But y'all want to sit around and talk about Louis Farrakhan? When you talk about Louis Farrakhan, a man who has been among us for over 50 years, you talk about this man, he is loved. Louis Farrakhan is not hated by the black community. Louis Farrakhan, like John Fitzgerald Kennedy, is loved by his people. I'm going to say that again. Louis Farrakhan is not hated by the black community. He is much respected and loved by the black community. And those that speak out in a negative manner, or you should just be quiet, period, but you're not smart enough. See, y'all don't have, you're so filled with emotion, you don't know how to be smart with your negativity. So the only thing you do is for those who love this man, when they hear you talk, and even though I might speak constructive criticism, it brings unnecessary problems to us, to whatever you're trying to do. Oh, them cats, they hate Farrakhan. I'm not going to support the Black Power Cartel. I'm not going to support that Nation of Islam people because they hate folks. They hate Farrakhan. So you only do yourself a disservice, because there's a time for everything. Louis Farrakhan has a lecture series right now that he's promoting for the rest of this year, called The Time and What Must Be Done. There's a time to do things, and then there's a time to shut up, know what you know, be quiet, and move forward and do something else. Come back to that later, because right now it's out of time. There was a time to talk about John Kennedy, but when the man was just assassinated and the country is in mourning Malcolm, that's the wrong time. Now, those who love Louis Farrakhan could care less about what y'all gotta say. They could care less about what I have to say. My constructive criticism. They could care less. And above all, with all of us talking, and I got an email from, they didn't know it was me, but I got an email talking about me, and somebody in Chicago wrote, like, they don't care about Angel Snuffing Up 7. Somebody in Chicago said, Angel Snuffing Up 7 is a nobody. If it wasn't for the internet, nobody would even know who this guy is. Angel Snuffing Up 7 only gets about 37 views on a video. This is Chicago. They didn't know it was me. They talking to somebody else. So Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, they don't care about your 4-hour video. They don't trip off of it. You could be, we could be using our time for something more fruitful. But see, if we did this in the right time, it would have the effect that we're looking for. This is not to say we should not critique. This is not to say that we shouldn't express our opinion. But I do know for sure, when we come before the public like we so filled with hate and show malice and disrespect to a man that our people love, you only gonna cause yourself problems. And then what are we talking about? What is everybody talking about Louis Farrakhan? Here we are, all puffed out, and people expressing things like they some kind of secret agent, and we exposing Louis Farrakhan. Y'all Negroes is the most exposing people in the world. Louis Farrakhan associating himself with Scientology is not a secret. It's not a secret. Matter of fact, everything that y'all talk about when in reference to Louis Farrakhan, his family, the Nation of Islam, these things are not secret. Ain't nobody hiding behind a sheet. Ain't nobody on TV with one of those black dots over their face saying, I know a secret about Farrakhan. And they're exposing secrets. All this, what y'all talking about, is public knowledge. So what are you exposing? It's just a way to make a video, put yourself in a position so all the people that hate this man, dislike all y'all gossip spreaders, can come together and Farrakhan this, and Farrakhan should do that. Farrakhan is the hypocrite. Farrakhan is a traitor. We need to do this about Farrakhan. No, what you need to do, something about these racists and the money you got in your pocket with the racist face on it. Farrakhan is the least of your problem. Because your substance and the reason why you exist is because of the children of your ex-slave master. And Farrakhan didn't do nothing to you. He didn't put you in this condition. They did. But you, again, see, the incredible nigga, he can attack black folks, right or wrong. But the incredible nigga, he bowed down and he shrink down to Bruce Banner when dealing with the racist pink people, and then y'all act like y'all love Khalid Muhammad so much. Khalid Muhammad made it very clear about his respect for Louis Farrakhan. That's my spiritual father all the way to the end. Tell me I'm wrong. And here you are concentrating Farrakhan this, Farrakhan that. Khalid Muhammad named his child after Louis Farrakhan. And he also concentrated on dealing with the devil. That's what y'all call pink people. Devils. Khalid Muhammad respected Farrakhan, even though their relationship became rocky all the way to the end. And Khalid Muhammad kept the devil on the run. Y'all doing the exact opposite. Y'all want to try to get Louis on the run, and because you keeping Louis on the run, not doing your job, not following the example of Khalid Muhammad, now the devil can take it easy. See, a lot of y'all know me, but many of these people, they don't mess with me because I'm going to bring you your reality. You're not going to get off that delusional fantasy, all that pompous bullcrap, blowhard junk on me. I'm going to call you the way I see you. None of you impress me. And you know it. That's why you don't mess with me. And if I talk about you, the only thing you're going to do is be quiet because you don't want to deal with this. But I'm your brother. I don't bite. But I got to do what's right. You talk about Farrakhan. You say that he is backed up by the Jews. He gets money from Scientology. And all this kind of stuff. So who are you? If Farrakhan is backed up by the Jews, if he's backed up by Scientology or all this whatever, don't you know Louis Farrakhan compared to us? He's a formidable force. Dealing with Louis Farrakhan on our level is like bringing a knife to a gunfight. That just shows us how silly we are. And just like we don't know how to deal with, or our ancestors, just like our ancestors didn't know how to deal with a great power, an informidable force. We don't know how to deal with Caucasian racist pink people. The slave just learned how to submit. Yes, sir, massa. Whatever you want, massa. Be careful. Don't talk to massa that way. Don't talk to massa this way. They just learn how to submit. So here you are trying to be tough. Farrakhan this, Farrakhan that. You can't do nothing. So why don't we just shut up? And then here we are so tough. So bad. Oh, we got these mouths on us. has been tried. Brother Khalid was tried. Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm, and Martin, Medgar Evers, many of our great people, they have been tried. Some of y'all never had a speeding ticket. You would cry like a baby if you really had to go to jail. You cry like a baby if one of them devil cops took a stick and bust you upside your head. This ain't no game. This ain't no joke. But y'all think that it is because you haven't been tried. In religion, it talks about how God will try you. And the reason why the racist Caucasian pink people have not tried you because you don't mean nothing. And that's the bottom line. You ain't about nothing. Just let you go ahead and talk. You're not doing nothing. Elijah Muhammad said, if you can't back it up, then don't say it. Y'all talking all this, kill the white man, let's do this, let's do that, like you so tough. You can't back it up. Y'all, most of y'all couldn't bust a grape. You've been calling the white man the devil for almost 100 years. If not 100 years. Real close. And guess what? With all your talk, with all your pompous, you know how it is when you see a bird, when birds mate, and the female bird sit there, and the male bird, he fluff up his feathers, and he bouncing around. That's all y'all do. Because when it's all said and done, the white man is the devil. Crack of this. And you still the white man's slave. 24 hours a day. Talking all this. You don't impress me. You don't know how to deal with these races. Because the only thing you know is your emotion. It makes you feel good to say, the white man is the devil. The crack of this and the crack of that. That's all it takes for you. And you go back to your slave house and make sure every year you pay this white devil taxes. And you know what'll happen to you if you don't pay the devil his taxes. With your big mouth. If you're so tough, don't pay the taxes. People getting so silly around here. These Caucasian people, these pink people don't care nothing about what y'all talking about. He tolerates you because you ain't about nothing. He don't mind you being on YouTube. He don't mind you being on Facebook. Everything that all these thousands of Negroes, Black Power family, hotel, he don't care nothing about none of that stuff because you ain't gonna bust a grape, you ain't nothing. Because believe this, if the racist Caucasian people really believe we were threats, he would not tolerate you doing what you're doing. They viewed Martin Luther King as a threat. Medgar Evers was a threat. Elijah Muhammad was a threat. Malcolm, Fannie Lou Hamer, Harriet Tubman. So many of our people, famous and unknown, they were threats. And the government and even individual racist pink people took action against them. Now, they haven't done nothing physical to me. I believe the reason why these Caucasian people locked me up for so long because they saw that black liberation nationalist type mindset in my head, so they tried to break me. That's one of the reasons why. They told me, we never had one of y'all before. What do you mean by you never had one of y'all before? I heard them say I was the closest to a Farrakhan or a Malcolm they could get. They want to see, they want to understand the psychiatry behind the black conscious mind. And they decided to use me as an example. Y'all don't understand that. You have to pay your dues for what you say that you believe in, what you know. I don't believe in this. I know about this. I know I want to be free. I don't believe in being free. I don't believe that I'm being terrorized. I know I'm being terrorized. I know I'm being discriminated against. Let's be real. if we were anything like Brother Martin or Malcolm or Sister Fannie Lou Hamer or our great people, they would treat us like they did them. But y'all live comfortable. You have your iPhones, you got your nice Facebook page, and Martin Luther King and Malcolm, they couldn't live that kind of way. They always had to wonder when was it my time to die? When they gonna kill me? When they had me locked up, I know how it feels because I know if I had no family connection, there was nobody to keep an eye on me. Those devils would have killed me. I know this for a fact. None of you scare the racist pink people of this nation. Those who are in power. See, y'all blame the redneck idiots. They ain't about nothing. They are the tools used by the big boys with intelligence. They use their illiterate flunkies to do their dirty work. And the reason why the racist pink people don't trip off of y'all is because you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing, saying the same thing that y'all been doing since the time of Marcus Garvey and prior. Nothing has changed, but the devil has changed. He's changed his form. He's changed his way of doing things. He's still wicked. He's still a terrorist, but the people like him. Don't talk about the white man. Accept your responsibility. Make proper choices. Get over slavery. This is coming from your people that you claim you trying to save. How you gonna save a people who think like that? Because they love the slave master and his children. And you are the enemy. We are the enemy. All you can do with Louis Farrakhan is talk. So for all y'all who don't have nothing else better to do is talk about Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, Scientology this, and whatever else that you done found, with all the things that you are exposing, then y'all keep enjoying yourself. See, this is like a big game. Brother Farrakhan and the racists, see, they are playing chess while y'all playing checkers. Both of these games are intellectual type games. But of course, as you know, chess is a higher form of this particular game instead of checkers. Checkers is more infantile. Checkers is more on a kindergarten level. But when you start dealing with chess, chess is so complicated, they built machines to play chess. And see, when you're playing chess, it's about move and counter move. And see, you don't have no idea of how to play the game because we're so emotional, we can't study the game. We can't learn, so we don't know how it's being played. So when somebody make a move, you don't know how to, we don't know how to counter that move. We are too emotional. We are the most emotional people. Black folks, the descendants of slaves born in America, those of us in black power, black conscience, black liberation, nationalism, however you want to see, you Africanized. But you're so emotional. This emotion don't get anything done. Emotion hinders proper thinking. See, and the thing about this is Farrakhan and these Christian preachers, see, they feed off emotion. And they understand that as long as they can keep the people under their voice emotional, they cannot properly think to see the things that we are expressing. Some of y'all in a negative manner, some of it is constructive criticism, but they can't see it because they are filled with emotion. Many people drown due to fear. Fear is an emotion. But if you can control that fear and just try to float, don't thrash around. Because when you become emotional, in church you see them going running up and down the aisles and you get emotional, you don't think. If you're in water and you can't swim and get to thrashing around and don't try to stay calm and let your body go limp so you can try to float, then you are guaranteed drowning. We are a drowned people and continue to drown because we filled with emotion. So since you're filled with emotion, nobody can save you because you can't listen to what they're telling you to do, and you reject the person that's trying to help you save your life. And that's what's happening to us. Many of you think that you can bring Louis Farrakhan down. I wish you the best of luck. You think that you can hurt him. But Louis Farrakhan has been in this game for over 50 years. He's gotten in the game, taken the game, and gone. And there's an old saying in the hood. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And that's what you learn how to play the game yourself. Get your own game piece. Instead of trying to play with a game piece somebody else played long time ago. What do you mean by that, Brother Taalik? Y'all trying to mimic Marcus Garvey. You're trying to pretend you Khalid Muhammad. Some of y'all think y'all Malcolm X. All these different things. Get your own game piece. Be yourself. I'm John Henry Clark. I'm Dr. Amos Wilson. I'm Dr. Ben. Be yourself. Understand who you are. So that you can come up out of you the essence that you can bring to the struggle. Those things, all these game pieces have already been seen, been there, done that, and the racists already know how to deal with you. These pieces have been played. These numbers have already been played in this lottery, and we have lost. Don't worry and waste a lot of time on Louis Farrakhan. Brother Farrakhan is 80 years old, or he's close to 80 years old, and he knows, and if you listen to many of his speeches, I mean, y'all expect too much out of Louis Farrakhan. He's not a young man no more. He don't have that fire. He don't have that drive no more. And it's also possible he could become senile. That's true too. He's a man. And when I hear him talk, he's trying to put his work in a position so that it can live beyond his physical flesh. That's what he's trying to do. So, you can talk about Al Sharpton. You ain't did nothing. You don't have no works close to what Al Sharpton has done. You ain't did nothing close to Farrakhan or Jesse Jackson or nobody. So how can we talk about somebody and you don't have no work? Elijah Muhammad told Malcolm X, brother, you don't have to condemn a dirty glass. Just put a clean glass next to it. So simple, y'all. If only the Elijah Muhammad had took his own advice. Because they didn't have to mess with Malcolm. Whatever Malcolm was doing, take your clean glass, place it next to Malcolm's dirty glass. But see, it's very difficult to do if your glass is just as dirty as the other man's glass is. See, that's our problem. That's why we sit around and talk about, spend hours and hours talking about somebody, because our glass is just as dirty as theirs. But we have not been exposed, and nobody gives a care about us because we ain't nobody anyway. That's the bottom line. Let's get real. But we don't have to worry about many of our elders. Brother Farrakhan knows he has more days in back of him than in front of him. So when these brothers with all this influence pass, there will be a void. Who's going to fill that void that Farrakhan leaves? Who is filling the void that Jesse is leaving or will leave, or Sharpton? Who will fill the void? Who are we preparing to fill the void that we will leave behind? That's the question. How long are we going to allow our people to be slaves, fighting among one another, wasting time on stuff that don't really mean nothing? Let's argue about that after you get free. Let's talk about what Farrakhan did and Malcolm. Get free. That kind of stuff don't impress me. Living in a cage, living like a slave, and that's, you shouldn't be impressed by none of that too. But some of y'all, you got nice cars, you got a pretty house, nice job. See, y'all comfortable Negroes, so you can waste time. Cause you can tolerate, and really you love the United States of America. Because if you didn't, then you'll find ways to get out of it. I don't want to change it. I want to get out of this. We need to be free. You want to talk about Farrakhan? That's a distraction tactic away from you, because you ain't doing nothing. Let's talk about you. In Christian teachings, it says, judge not, lest ye be judged. Let's talk about you. Yeah, you. Let's talk about you. You can expose Farrakhan. Y'all can expose Jesse and Sharpton. Y'all the most exposing people ever, but you don't never want to expose yourself. I don't even have to know you. It don't take long, and I find out a lot of stuff about you. That's why many of you don't want to deal with me. Because you know that I know you ain't about nothing. And I'm going to tell you in your face. And I'm going to do some exposing. Since y'all like to expose folks. So who are going to be the people that our people will embrace and accept when these voids occur? They will be the ones who was the most respectful to our elders, regardless to whether our elders was right or whether they was wrong. The people are going to be attracted by those who love us as a people, regardless whether we right or wrong. Our people are going to love those who love the people that they love. And they love Farrakhan, and they respect Jesse, and they respect Sharpton. They respect these men. They done their work. Now it's time for us to do ours. But you have no work. Y'all do some little tiny stuff. Farrakhan has done more in his pinky than all of us put together, and you don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. And you'll never get on his level because you're too silly and childish. You and I, we can fill the void when you love those of whom our people love. And once they come into their right mind, then we can explain this is where Farrakhan went wrong. Then we can explain this is where Sharpton went wrong. Then we can explain these things. And not in a hateful type manner, negative type manner. We need to learn how to be smarter in the things that we do. It's not about, oh, I know I'm telling the truth, I'm right. Tell it in the right time. That is what must be done. Now, excuse me a second. Speaking of love, see, our people also love the great Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. I love that brother. I love anybody, you too. Anybody that tries to do anything for us. Brother Khalid Abdul Muhammad was a loved person. Who is going to fill the void of Dr. Khalid Muhammad? Who? And why? Is there a need for another Khalid Muhammad? Actually, Khalid Muhammad, you cannot replace him. In fact, you really need somebody stronger and better than Khalid Muhammad. But when we mimic and copy people, that is impossible to create, because we're trying to be like somebody else, and we're limited in what and who they were. Khalid Muhammad wants us to be better than him and learn from his mistakes, learn from the things that he had to go through. I believe it was sometimes in the 1980s. I was probably in my 20s. I met Dr. Khalid Muhammad one time. And I believe he was the minister of Temple number 27 in Los Angeles. And at that time, he was known as Brother Harold X. If somebody, if I'm incorrect, please correct me. I don't have the big head. I remember him as Brother Harold X, minister of number 27 in Los Angeles. That's what I remember. See, I'm getting a little old myself. Okay? So I could be a little senile. But I remember Brother Khalid in California. And just like Malcolm, I don't really know Brother Khalid, but I feel that man's spirit. I feel his essence. I understand how he feels about this struggle. He is real. And if we had a chance and an opportunity to meet sometime, I think I could have gotten Dr. Khalid to join the Realist Temple on Earth ministry, because his mind was ever evolving. And I believe if I knew Malcolm, Malcolm would have been part of this ministry, because that's the natural evolution of a thinking mind, not somebody who is a slave to religion. If you listen to Malcolm and if you listen to Khalid Muhammad, they are not slaves and never were slaves to religion. That's why they done the things that they were doing. Religion enslaves. It does not free. That's why they was attracted to black nationalism. Black nationalism and religion, they can't mix, because black nationalism, black liberation is the act of to free the physical and mental mindset of African peoples, when religion was designed to enslave that mind and that body. They understood those things, but you cannot act upon something that you don't know. It was not meant for Malcolm to know. It was not meant for Dr. Khalid to know. But now, you are now listening to the House of Reality. Now you know. Consider yourself blessed. I shed a tear for Malcolm X when I was a young man, 18, 19 years old. And I stood almost on the spot, or the exact spot that Malcolm stood when he was shot down in the Audubon ballroom. When I stepped on that spot, I could feel something. And it's not nothing spooky, but I could feel something. I was connected with an ancestor that had the same type of spirit, the same type of fire, actually went through the same type of thing that I was going through. Because I was a member of a nation of Islam, and he was a member of a nation of Islam. And I was thinking the same kind of way Malcolm was. When I first learned of Malcolm X, they told me he was a hypocrite, he was a Judas, and all these different things. Upon my own thinking, I think for myself. Upon my own research and examination of Malcolm, I never saw Malcolm like that. I I saw Malcolm as I saw myself, because many people couldn't understand why I was so rebellious. Every time you turn around, brother, I was always insubordinate. I always questioned people. Some of them said, he might be a hypocrite. Good. I heard that Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad passed his life. And I shed a tear. I can't help it. And I'm not an emotional person, really. My mother didn't raise none of my siblings. We are not really emotional people. If you see me shed tears, if you see me cry, something really has happened. Because we're not an emotional kind of people. But I shed tears when I heard about Dr. Khalid Muhammad passing this life. May he rest in peace. Let us talk about the troubles of Dr. Khalid, and let us learn the lessons, and let me bring this talk to its conclusion. And I hope that we are learning something from this talk. The trouble between Brother Farrakhan and Dr. Khalid Muhammad began, as far as we know, with Dr. Khalid making a speech at King University in 1994, I believe. Or was it 1993? Something like that. And that speech, Dr. Khalid went off talking about Jews. And I was clapping, woo, talk about it. But that speech and the outrage, the media outrage, and of course you know how the racist media take things and flip it and made things sound worse than what they really were. So Brother Farrakhan decided that he had to suspend Brother Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Now I want to say this very quickly. I don't like, this is the reality's temple on earth. You got to bring me some kind of evidence. You got to talk to me so that my common sense can kick in. You got to bring me some kind of facts. You got to bring it to me where it's analyzed, where it can be acceptable to my mind. I don't like conspiracy theories. We don't need no more of that. Y'all say, some of these people say that Farrakhan killed Malcolm X. Farrakhan has never been charged with the murder of Malcolm X. Stop saying that silly stuff unless you can prove it. In a court of law, that's considered slander. And if you write it, that's libel. Correct? But see, y'all don't have to pay that price, so y'all keep spreading that gossip. There's nobody hiding behind a picture on TV with one of those black spots in front of their face. I know I was there when Farrakhan plotted Malcolm's assassination. Nobody. None of Sister Betty's daughters have ever come up. They have no reason to lie. They have no reason to hold back. None of them have come before the public and said that Sister Betty reconciled with Louis Farrakhan because of that situation with her daughter. Or they paid Sister Shabazz. You would think the daughters would know more than your dumb self. What do you know? Gossip spreaders. That's that incredible nigga that's in us. Louis Farrakhan has never been charged with the murder of Malcolm X. You say that the Scientologists bought Farrakhan. Where is the check? How do you know? Show us the check. What is your proof? The only thing you can do is guess. That's the only thing that you can do. You get. I don't like stuff like that. Because when I bring it, I want to bring it real. Because if I'm proven wrong, I feel silly and look silly. And that's how y'all feel when people question you, spreading gossip and rumors. Don't have no proof of nothing. There's no checks. There's no witnesses. There's nothing. Don't bring that to me. I don't play. Homie don't play that. Because homie here don't want to look stupid and silly. When I come strong, I want to come correct. I want to have some real, for real proof, some real power behind me. I don't want to spread no gossip. When I talk about what I say, I can back it up. And I feel confident in what I say. I don't feel confident spreading them rumors. Do you know if you did the same thing in a mental institution where I was, like y'all do on YouTube and Facebook, spreading all this gossip and stuff, they use that kind of thing to justify keeping you locked up. Spreading gossip and making up things. They punish you for something that you haven't even done yet. Or they punish you for what you might do. Because they offer no proof, no evidence. Oh, they're just spreading gossip like you are, like you do on other people. Same kind of stuff. I'm not into that. I know what that can do to people. I was a victim of conspiracy theory. I was a victim of gossip. Making up stuff on me. And you think I'm going to sit around and because you said, oh, I'm black power, I'm black, I don't give a damn. Yeah, you black all right. You fit the definition of what the racist pink people say about black. Evil and untrustworthy. Devil. That's what you are. Troublemakers. And most of these suckers on these internet social sites, they hide their face. Show me who you are. What's your motivation? Why are you saying what you say? Tell us about you. You hiding yourself. What it is about you that you're trying to hide? You can always expose other people. You know so much about everybody else. What about you? What about you? Bring it. Oh, now you want to get quiet. You don't want to talk about yourself. I talk about me. Everything that you know about me, I told you. Everything that you know about Farrakhan and all these people, they told us. Show us your evidence. Now, what we do know out of the situation, we do know that Khalid Muhammad was suspended. We do know that. But see, we got to be real. You in another man's house. This is the Nation of Islam. And Louis Farrakhan is the leader of the Nation of Islam. You in his house. You came to help him in his house. Now, outside looking in, we might not like it. Okay? I didn't like it. But this is this man's house. You run a business. The employees don't run the business. The owner runs the house. If the employee cannot do what the owner or the employer asks of him or her to do, then they are fired. They need to leave. That's the bottom line. Y'all can get angry all that you want to. Come on now. Let us be real. Let us be real.